Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we continue. So, this is for 6.1 for your challenging and inspiring. So, what you need to do for this one is you need to think about an idea or concept, something that you want to challenge or think about or ask questions about, right? So, art can be made for many different reasons. It can be made to inspire people, to show people that things are wrong in society, for example, or just to make fun of things, to show beauty, to scare people. The possibilities are basically endless, right? So, I'm going to show you now some PowerPoint presentations. And I would like you to write in minimal, so a minimum number of 5 sentences, what type of art or design you are interested in, right? So I'm going to show you lots and lots of different possibilities, and I just want to get an idea. So for this one, I just want you to find something that interests you, because I do not know what interests you exactly, right? So that makes it easier for me to help you, because you're going to have to challenge yourself and inspire yourself to create something that you want. Now, once I know what you want, it's easier for me to help you, because I can find different types of ideas that are similar or examples, right? So my role shifts now. I'm not just teaching you, I'm sort of helping you, because you're all going to do your individual road from this point on, right? Okay. So I want you to upload 3 or more different pictures that inspire you from a specific type of art or design. And I want you to write some ideas that you want to try out, right? So you can think of things that have to do with culture, things that belong to a certain culture. It is all different, it's all possible. So here we go. I'm going to show you lots of different things. Now, different types of art. So you can see this one, for example, is art that's all made with cardboard. And I just want to show you, because cardboard is very inexpensive way to create lots and lots of different types of art, and mainly sculptures, right? Okay, so this is like a little tank, for example, made out of cardboard, super duper fun, right? Somebody made that in art class. This is like a little like igloo, like a little building. If you want to create, you can create some buildings out of cardboard. Cardboard is really nice because you can make things really large scale and you can make things small, right? And also as a material, it has a certain quality. So for example, if you want to design like maybe like a nice little birdhouse, you could do that. Or if you want to make an object that is normally made out of normal materials or different materials, you can make it out of cardboard, right? It gets a whole new meaning, basically, right? So this is a nice little heart sculpture, for example. This is like a big bear, but it's also like a little bit of a house. It's pretty fun. This is like a shoe made out of cardboard, which is really nice. This is like a camera. These are cupcakes. This is like a little tiny model tank, right? This is like from Star Wars, one of those walker things made out of cardboard. This is like from a movie. This is the DeLorean. These are like wall decorations, for example, right? Look, they're very expensive, $55. Wow, that is very expensive, I think. Okay, good. Or you can make like, for example, like a mask. It can be different, right? This one is like unpainted. This one is like a little bit more painted, like a little bit better, right? Or like a helmet, like you have endless possibilities, right? So if you say, well, I really am interested in making something out of cardboard, by all means do so. Now this becomes even more interesting because this is like armor made out of cardboard, and of course you can imagine this is pretty useless against anything really, right? If you hit this with a hammer, you're gonna poke a hole in it, basically. This is a dress made out of cardboard. This is like a little kitchen. It's very ugly, which is fun, right? These are like some cool decorations people wear. This is like a gun made out of cardboard. These are different types of weapons. This is like a beautiful little house model, right? This is like somebody who wanted to do architecture that create like a little bit of design, for a house, for example, like this. This one's super nice. So I'm just showing you lots and lots of different ideas, right? So these are all things made out of cardboard. You can make it really big to create interesting spaces. This is like a whole setup. It feels like a bunker with lots and lots of control knobs and things. Nobody knows what it controls, but it is very interesting to look at, right? Maybe some sort of nuclear bunker or something. I don't really know, right? This is like a big joke, of course, which is pretty fun. Here we have like people make these and then they wear them, and it's like a cap, and then people can get into the cap. Like, it's pretty fun to do. This person make like his car look way cooler than it normally is, right? This one too. Make it a little bit more interesting. So those are all different things. You can make things that are normally small, big, and so and so. So there's lots and lots of possibilities, right? Okay. Now I'm going to show you another example. So this one, for example, is collage art. So please, whenever you find something that interests you, please write it down, because I'm going to ask you to find like at least 3 different pictures that belong to this specific category of art that you enjoy, right? I personally really like collage art, because collage art is art traditionally where you find pictures in magazines or in newspapers or whatever. You grab like some scissors, you cut it out, and you reorganize it, right? Then basically you can combine those to create new things. Now, because you're combining all kinds of different pictures together, new, weird, wonderful things will start to happen, right? I very much like making collages. I think it's a lot of fun, right? So here we have 2 people, and on top of them we have some fingers. I don't know exactly what it is about, but I think it's very interesting, right? So collages are something that is invented in like the 1900s, because there was a lot of print being made already. So people started to, after the First World War, started to really um, use all this print and all this advertisement material to create new interesting ways of combining it, right? It mainly started in something called Dada art. Okay, so collages are still widely used today. They can have a lot of meaning, or they can have zero meaning at all. It's all possible, right? This does not have a lot of meaning. This more is to do with that it just looks aesthetically pleasing. It looks fun, right? So this is, for example, something you can find in a magazine. It's an old picture, and there's some nice geometrical colors added to it, right? This one has, of course, a little bit more meaning. This lady is cleaning up all the people. She's vacuum cleaning so many people on the beach, for example. This one is made on the computer. So nowadays you can use all kinds of computer programs, software, to create all kinds of interesting collages. And the computer is really easy to do it, because you can make things bigger and smaller and change the color and the angle, and lots of possibilities, right? So this, of course, is interesting. Then this one is just 2 pictures on top of each other. It's basically almost exactly the same face, so that really fits well together, right? This one is something that is for like a music album. Music albums usually, well, oftentimes also make use of collages. So it's multiple pictures together here. And then this one, I know it's made on the computer, because he created a little bit of the cast shadow of the little boy, right? But you can create really fun and interesting things, right? Here. You can create a lot of feeling, for example. This person is clearly drowning in space, and nobody will come and save them, right? It feels so lonely, for example. This is like a giant disaster. There's like dead people, there's ships hitting buildings. It makes no sense, right? This turns really negative, or feel really dark, negative emotions, for example. This one is a little bit more mysterious. It's really a lot of fun. Making collages is just playing by putting things on top of each other. It is super interesting, right? I think. Good. Okay. These are from fashion magazines, for example. This is a digital collage made on the computer. This is like a digital collage made on a computer. It blended 2 pictures together, right? A tablecloth and like a mountain. This one too made on the computer. This one made by hand. This is just the same picture, but connected 3 times together to create interesting shape like this. This is like change something that used to be guitar, now it's a weapon, right? This is like stretching the picture, combining two pictures together, blending it together, create it like it's like a really big downhill, right? Super fun. This thing too. So these all different types of collages, right? Collages, super fun to do. I'm a big fan of this one. I think this one's super interesting. It's fairly simple. It's one picture, but it's just cut in half and turned a little bit. And it really gives you a lot of feeling because even though the woman and the dog are in the same world, they're not on the same level. I really like this. This is a very interesting collage. Good. Anyways, digital collage. And here we go, more interesting combinations. It's a lot of fun to do, right? You'll find this everywhere you look. See, this is just a little bit copied from the left. Very interesting and mysterious, right? So that is collage art. There is lots and lots of possibilities. I think it's super fun to do, super fun to make, and oftentimes people make them for this art course, right? Super simple yet super powerful image, right? Here we go. Very interesting stuff. A lot of fun to do. Okay, now some people of you might be interested in creating something that have to do with fashion. I sometimes have students who are very into fashion. I'm totally fine with that too. You can create, for example, all kinds of different things, right? You can create fashion out of paper, for example, or you can make drawings of what you want something to look like, right? Or you can actually make it, you can make tiny models out of it. You have lots and lots of options, right? Whatever you want. If you're interested in fashion, then we can definitely get you to create something that has something to do with fashion, right? These are dresses made out of paper, for example. This is just a catwalk idea, for example. If you want to make some sketches, for example, or miniature clothes or real clothes, I'm totally fine with all those things, right? As long as you use the model that we use, it is good, right? Because we can talk about all the elements and design principles when we look at this, for example. See? I really like these things. These things super interesting because she creates dresses out of plastic, but it kind of also look like skeletons and bones, and that is, I think, is super interesting, right? Hop. Also really like these shoes here on the right. They're like something from the future, high heels from like the future. Super interesting, right? So if you want to do some design, some fashion design, or you want to create your own t-shirt, or you want to create your own shoes or whatever, you can totally do that, right? Now, haba, there we continue. Gonna download for a second, here we go. Now, nowadays a lot of people that create art, they work in the game and movie industry, right? So every time there's a movie made or a video game, a lot of people have to create all the assets in the game, right? So I'm going to look with you a little bit at some game and concept art, right? So a lot of people who really like to paint, for example, landscapes, will work in the gaming industry where a game developer hires somebody to create landscapes. They say, okay, I want to make a movie or I want to make like a video game and I want to create this like dreamy little city that this character is going to visit, right? Then they ask somebody to create images for this, and then they can either say, okay, this is sort of the idea of the art style that we enjoy, or we don't enjoy this, and if they really like it, they might build it into three-dimensional assets, right? So there's a lot of people working in the gaming industry creating landscapes, creating characters, creating concept art, super fun, right? So this, for example, is for, what's it called? Assassin's Creed. This is like a sketch for what the level for the big port city could look like, right? So you can see this is the harbor where there might be like building some ships, right? So oftentimes this is really unfinished art, so you can see it's very rough, and that is totally fine because it's just an impression, right? So if the game developer gets this sketch and they say, wow, this looks super interesting and fun, I can see there's like ship buildings here, right? That's perfect. It just needs to be like an idea roughly of what it could look like, right? And that is what you get here. Super fun. Same over here, right? This is like some ship crashing down. This is like for a movie, I forget what it's called. Look, this is like what a level could look like in different times of the day, right? It can be in the evening or like when the sun is setting, right? So different lights too for a different feeling. The top one feels very cool, the bottom one feels very warm, right? You can control that with your warm and your cold colors, for example. This is like some futuristic city, right? This is like from a video game, Event Horizon Dawn stuff, right? This is like for another video game, see? Here, I really like this. This is super interesting for me. It's like an interesting level for a game. I really like this one. Like it's like half out of the water. Super cool thing, right? Yeah. But not only like landscapes and worlds need to be designed, of course. There's also lots and lots of other things that need to be designed, like robots and monsters, you know. Here, then you might be familiar with stuff like this, right? Here, from the games, League of Legends and stuff, and Dota. See, that all starts like this. It starts with like some sketches, and then they're like, okay, that's looking very cool and interesting, and then of course it gets built into the video game. See, and you can already see what it should look like, and it's just a black and white sketch. But not also these kind of assets, also like characters need to be sketched and created, right? Then what they look like from all different angles, right? Then different types of colors that you can use for a specific character, for example. See, different looks, you know, different jaw lines with different, like, you know, facial paints or hair colors. Like if more people than one person work on like a character for a video game, for example, then it's a breakdown of all the different colors that they use, you know, for different light types, different actions things can perform, right? Different, lots of different options, different capes, for example, that people can then buy in loot boxes and things like that, right? Lots and lots of fun stuff. So if you want to create characters, you can do that. If you want to create landscapes, if you want to create fantasy tanks, by all means, all those things are possible, right? These are some really good concept posters, right? They're for like, I think, a movie. And this one, they asked this person to create a poster, and he created 4 different posters to show to the art director, and then the art director can say, okay, well, I really like the poster on the top right, for example, or the bottom left. Can you please finish that one into a full finished work, right? So basically, these ones are preliminary artworks, right? They're not preliminary, like one step before. So these are not full-size finished renders, but they're just sort of tiny still, and then you have different things you can choose from, and then whichever one is the best one gets made into a finished, finalized artwork. This is still very rough here and there. I really like these. I think these are really good. Same here, see? It gives you an idea of what it looks like, but it's not really finished, see? Things have been blocked out, things have been like, you know, added in, lots and lots of options, right? So game and concept art is definitely an option you have to create, right? Then you can also make illustrations. So illustrations can be anything. They can be collages, they can be on the computer, they can be paintings, they can be anything that you want, right? And illustrations are usually commercial works. They can be made for advertisement, they can be made for books, they can be made for all kinds of different reasons, right? Here, these are some paintings. This is like a nice poster, right? This is like for a magazine, see, about sci-fi. This is like Batman. This one I think is on the album cover for a CD. I really like this. This is super nice and interesting. This is combining traditional Chinese art in the mountain landscapes with all the building things in the front. Super interesting, interesting contrast, new and old. This is a commercial for Adidas. Is combined with one of my favorite movies, Akira. Then this is for Kanye West album cover. This is like a painting, right? This is like for a magazine. This is also for a magazine. So lots and lots of different options. There's lots and lots of different styles possible, right? Lots of illustrators choose their own specific style, right? So those are all possible. See? If you're interested in doing illustrations, please do so. I personally do a lot of illustrations. I love illustrations because it's fun, right? Really like this picture. It's a monster party. All different monsters, they're all having fun. It's great. I like this image a lot, right? So lots and lots of different possibilities. See, this is like a drawing and a collage at the same time. See, this is like creating popular culture and then recreating it and adding lots of tattoos to a character, for example. So there's no real rules. You can do whatever you want, right? So if you're interested in illustrations, please do so, right? Look, super fun. Dark, a little bit dark, but cool. I like it, right? Can be simple, can be complicated. You can do whatever you want, right? So that is illustration art. Cool. Now, you might be interested in creating something along these lines, for example, which is called installation art. So installation art is basically the same as collage art, but collage art you do with paper or on the computer. Installation art you do with real three-dimensional objects inside of a space. So this one is super interesting. This is a tank made out of balloons, for example, right? Which is super fun because it's mixing two opposite things. Something that is really strong, which is a tank, and it's combining it with something that is very weak, that is balloons, right? So it's messing with the meaning of things. Interesting contrast. Look, this is like a good installation artwork, for example. This one, fat car, it's real size, which makes it very interesting, right? Or this rock, for example. Somebody drew all these lines in the hallway to make it like, feel like things are going up and down. So installation always have something with real objects and in real spaces, right? This is about, it's using tiny little toy soldiers. This is against war. So these are all glued together to make American flag, for example. These ones are tiny and they show what happens when you go to war. Basically, you come back, nobody understands you, you get into a lot of trouble with your wife because he doesn't understand that you have changed, and there's a lot of violence at home. People get PTSD, commit suicide, some people cannot work anymore, they start to beg because they don't fit in society anymore. People get injured, right? This is giving like the real aftermath of war to people, right? Because little children like to play with these tiny green toy soldiers with these bases, and this is showing you a little bit more the reality. But these are still small. Now you can do the same thing by making these guys big and showing what corpses actually look like. Then it has a stronger impact even, right? So all things to think about, for example. This is a beautiful installation. It's like a painting made out of balloons, for example, which is quite fun. This is like a little shrine with different religions. It's interesting. This is just some tape, a lot of tape, but it gives a lot of action and movement, right? It's very interesting to see. A lot of bam, fun. This person put all kinds of packaging material around things. He packaged like whole buildings, but here he put this around different islands over here. This one just put some blow up arms from this building. Looks super fun. This look like a car is sunk into the ground, even though it's just cut off, right? So installation art is a lot of fun because you can really play with objects to say new things. If you just get like some simple stuffed animals, you put them together like this and you do one with its head missing, you get a lot of emotion from it or feeling, right? Here, toilet papers. These are just stuffed animals sewn together, right, by color. Here, these guys are having a meeting. It's super simple, but it's super interesting. These are like, it's a whole city made out of pots and pans, for example. See? Look like a giant city from the future, right? It's just silverware. These are fighting with each other, right? It's like a cartoon cloud of fighting with things sticking out of it. This is like sugar. It's like a whole fantasy land made out of sugar, right? Super fun. So installation art is very interesting. Okay, let's keep this going. Sometimes people want to create some painting art. Well, of course, painting is also something that is possible. There are millions of different types of painting, right? This is like a specific style of painting which I really do not like, but I just want to show you. See? This is a little bit cartoony. This is a little bit cubistic and cartoony. This is like paintings for skateboards, for example. This is like old type of painting, but done in a really new method of creating these old, sort of like recreating these old paintings, but using all kinds of new interesting colors, right? This is very realistic, of course. This is like a little bit cartoony. This is like a little bit new old painting, for example. So painting, if you want to do, you can definitely do that, right? If you can find some images of paintings that you like, then I can talk to you about how they are made, and I can show you multiple ideas or examples of similar type of artist, for example. So lots and lots of different options, right? Good. Just going through this a little bit quickly, otherwise this video is going to take forever, right? So if you're interested in painting, by all means, let me know and find some pictures of paintings that you like, right? I really like these ones. I think they're super fun. Look, interesting, right? I really like these ones too. Super cool painting. Anyways, good. So painting is definitely an option, right? Okay. Now, sometimes people are interested in creating photography. Well, if you're interested in photography, you can also do that. As long as you use the process, we are totally good, right? So you can do some night photography, for example, weeps. Or you can build like a little set, ask your friends, get some objects, create something interesting, right? This person creates really interesting pictures. His name is Gregory Crutzen. He builds whole movie sets and then hires actors and puts people in with the lights to create these interesting movie sets, right? And he really trying to dictate everything that you see to influence your emotions. This photograph he made is about, I guess, somebody missing in the family. You can see there's an empty seat. The father isn't there, right? So you can see in their faces the emotion. Like, it's not an accident that all the bloody stuff is like dripping down the plate. That is everything you see in this picture. He specifically put there, right? There's like a lot of alcohol here in the back. Everything is there for a specific reason, right? Good. Beautiful, beautiful landscape photography. Portrait, of course. War. Fashion photography. Oh, excuse me. So, lots and lots of different options, right? To explore close-ups of flowers, for example. This person create like clouds with smoke machines inside spaces, which is fairly interesting, I think. You can go outside and document what you see, right? Here. This is another one of the set paint pictures. Another cloud. I really like these. You can go into a factory and take pictures, you know, like you get these weird spaces in factories where nobody ever really comes, right? This is the inside of a factory. It's weird, super cool and interesting. It looks like some sort of future world. So lots and lots of options, right? If you want to do photography, please do so. Another one of these sets that is created by this person. This one too, sorry. This one too, he hired like a big crane and a light to create this. Beautiful, beautiful photography, right? Photography, super interesting, right? Lots of options, lots of things to explore. Weeps. Hello, cat. Done. Okay, next one. Now, maybe you say, well, I'm interested in creating some products. And then I say to you, yes, of course you can create some products because everything around you is designed by another human being, right? So then we get into the realm of product design. If you want to design some really weird looking closets and things, you can do that. I don't like these, but there's lots of interesting things. This is a chair, for example. This is a chair as well, right? If you want to create that, you can do it. This one's probably super expensive because it's using different material and different type of bent wood, which is very interesting, right? Look, if you want to create that, you can do it, right? Here, this is a chair too. It's just different types of fabric and some sticks and some packing material, right? Look, this one's super interesting. This is probably super expensive because it's using like a very interesting thin structure and a really thick piece of glass, which is what's giving an interesting contrast between those two things, heavy and light, right? This thing, oops, some nice pots and things, door handles, lights, like anything around you is designed by another human being. If you say, I want to design some clocks, do it. Look, this is a clock, it's simple. This is a old clock, but it's made like a little bit more funky and new, right? These are a birdhouse, for example. This is also a birdhouse. This is also a birdhouse. This is also a birdhouse, like a drink opener, right? Of course, you can create like vehicles too. This is like a mock-up design, 3D and a 3D design of a motorcycle, for example. Concept bicycle, another concept motorcycle, another concept motorcycle. If you want to create something like this, you want to do some sketches or drawing, you can do it, right? It's all product design. Super fun. I've had many students who designed different types of vehicles because they're very into cars. I'm totally happy if you want to do that. You can do any of those things. Now, you can of course also do some, for example, traditional sculpting. This is more a installation actually, but look, this combined like a shark and a race car, for example. This is just made out of cardboard. This is traditional sculpture, 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 right? Very cartoony, very cartoony. There's lots of different options, right? It's more an installation actually. Look, super simple, yet you get a lot of emotion and feeling, right? Here, spooky. So if you're interested in sculpture, please do so, right? Lots of options. Whoops. Create some golden hamburgers or things like this. Whatever you want. Sculptures, abstract sculptures, weird sculptures, super weird sculptures. It's wood. Really like this one because it's contrasting things. It's super abstract. This is more an installation. This guy put like so many cans inside of a museum, fill the whole thing. That's quite the experience to go inside, right? But this is sculpture, right? Lots of options. Lots and lots of options. Here, it's just tape, but it looks like a city now. Here. Endless possibilities. Okay, we're almost there. You can also do some stencil art or street art. So stencil art and street art is really art that nowadays you can find in the street, right? So here we go. This is like a stencil art. So you can cut pieces out of cardboard and then you grab a spray paint and then you quickly spray paint, and then wherever the cardboard is not is where you get like this. So this is like in commemorance of the World Trade Center attack. So you can see, normally when you want to remember something, you put flowers. So now here he put a flower instead of the explosion, see? So the flower has become the explosion. It's quite clever. I think this is a very interesting artwork, right? So usually street art is art that either is happy or it is there to sort of confront people as to what is going on in society, right? So this one is a painting that this person buy at like a thrift store, like a second-hand painting. It's very cheap. And then he paint this prisoner in front because he wants to let people know that not everything is all right in the world, because the Americans have a lot of people captured in this place called Guantanamo Bay, right? They don't go to court. They just get like locked up without any real charges pressed, just like hop up, put people away, right? It's not cool at all. This one, of course, is a little bit more fun. Somebody put Pac-Man characters in, or this one is also pretty fun. Somebody just put really big eyes inside of a tree, which is quite fun. It doesn't have a lot of meaning, it just wants to be happy, right? So street art can have a lot of meaning, like this, for example, where you say, okay, don't fight, you know, like let love shine, all those things. Or it can just be completely random to decorate the street, to have a little bit of fun, right? Different options. So these are all posters, for example, or to make the street feel a little bit more happy, right? Super nice. Oops. There's a lot of really famous people who make this type of art. I really like this one. This one painted just fire and some tree stems and some monkeys to show that the rainforest is burning, right? Very interesting. Super simple. It's blue, give it 2 eyes and a cookie and you've created Cookie Monster, right? And this one, of course, is about that the Americans don't come to bring you liberty, but they just come to bring you some companies like McDonald's, for example, right? So street art, stencil art can be very meaningful or not. So then I got 2 more to go. Here we go. I'll show you some architecture. Some people are interested in architecture. If you want to do that, please by all means do it. These are very interesting. Look, stadium, for example. You can create things like this too, right? Super cool buildings, super interesting, right? Nice, beautiful flowy lines, very organic, right? With nice contrast. Cool. See? This one I don't like it, but I just want to show you lots of things. I also really don't like this one, but I just want to show you. See? So you can design, of course, the outside of a building for architecture, but you can, of course, also design the inside of buildings, right? Look, super cool stuff. Interior spaces, see? Very organic, very interesting, very modern, right? Cool. Don't like this one, really don't. It's so asymmetrical, it's weird. Okay, done. Then I'll show you some things that people have done before you, just so you have like an idea, you know, of what I'm expecting of you and what I have, what other students have made before you. Okay, so this one, she made a lot of like installations where she combined different things together, right? Now, she also made this one, for example, and they're not all the same in quality. This one is a little bit boring, right? This one becomes a lot more interesting, right, to see. So I'm just showing you interesting things and boring things, just lots of different things, right? Because I expect you to make like a lot of different things, right? Not to just say, okay, this is my artwork done, because then why are we even trying to do this whole process, right? So by this girl making different artworks like this one and this one, then in the end, and she made this one, then in the end she find out that one was working the best, and that's the one in the end that she picked, right? But she play and explore and experiment with lots of different things. Okay, this one's super nice and interesting. This one is just paint that is dripped into a big pot of water, and then take a picture, and then the picture is flipped. And because the picture is flipped, you get these really interesting things. This kind of look like an explosion or maybe some sort of weird island, right? That was a lot of fun to do. Same thing here, see? Oops. Then this person really was interested in doing night photography, so she made like lots of interesting pictures like this. This one wanted to create night photography to create places that feel a little bit scary in the nighttime, so she took pictures in the park like this. And she also made this picture that I really like. It's two lights in the distance reflecting in the water. It's super simple, but it is very mysterious, right? It's interesting. This one made like a little set, you can see. There's a ghost and a house and things. This one had something, this one is about sexuality, homosexuality. This person say, I just want to be happy and myself, but everybody around me want to erase me, right, for example. This was super fun. This girl made a picture of her friend, and then I said, it's so boring. Why don't we go and make it, because she put it in this little black thing. And then I gave her these flowers. I said, okay, go put this picture with these flowers in different places and see what happens. So here she put it in the street and take a picture. Now it looked like this person might have been run over by a car. This person is totally fine. It's just her friend. She's still alive. Don't worry. So then I said, okay, try different spots. See what happens. So then she took different pictures. Look, this one she's sitting on a piano on the left. So if maybe she's like a famous pianist. Then the one on the left bottom, she's on the stage, so it feels like maybe she's an actress or something. Then in the top right, you can see there's a lot of garbage around, so maybe she died in the streets, you know. And the other one, she maybe has passed away in the toilet, right? So you can change things about something and it will become totally new meaning, which is so much fun about art, right? That's what I really like about it. Because you take something out of its normal place, put it in another place, and weird things start to happen. I love installation art. Good, we continue. This is an interesting collage. This is an interesting collage poster. This is for first time Titanfall came out, the first one, right? Somebody wanted to make a poster for it. This is a beautiful collage made by somebody. This is a collage made by somebody. This is a collage made by somebody. This one too. This one too. It's all these collages are all made by the same person. This is also somebody made a collage. This one put lots of different like things together to create this. This one do all kinds of man hands, put things on it, nail polish. This one wanted to show that if you have a little bit more weight, you might still be beautiful. So she repainted something that already exists by changing it a little bit, which is making this a little bit interesting. The shadow on top, on the bottom of the chin is a little bit too heavy, but other than that, I think it's quite fun, right? Here, this person made this thing. This person really good at doing anime drawing. This person wanted to do some cool splatter painting. Lots and lots of different options. I really like this one. Super interesting. See? I have lots of different things. Somebody wanted to create their own Pokemon. See? Whoops. Somebody made their own logo for their Counter-Strike clan. This person wanted to make his own clothes. This person made his own uniform for his soccer team. Create his own soccer uniform, right? For the home and away uniform. This person created this graphic for skateboards. This person created his own face with money. He had like a whole printed so many of these notes. He had like a whole suitcase full of money with his own face on it. Super fun. Look, this person created his own hat. This one created his own album covers. He created multiple album covers. Created this thing too. This one made his own album cover. This one created shoe. That is some really old ones. Then I have some 2020 ones. I'll show you those too. And then we'll call it a day. Here we go. This is 2020. This is a illustration, sort of Japanese style. It have like Toronto in it on the bottom right and Japanese elements. This person wanted to create weapons, but didn't really do a good job because I in the end only had this picture, so I gave him really bad mark because it was super boring because he had so much time. But I want to show you, right? After you have had so much time to work on a project and you can only give me one picture, then I'm so disappointed, right? This person created this beautiful Assassin's Creed illustration on his own. This person made this collage. I talked to her and I don't understand why the the animals steal the ears of the bunny. I don't know, but it is still looking pretty good, right? This one created this really cool image. This person made this. It's super boring. This was also pretty much fail because I wanted to make a collage about video games and just put 3 pictures on top of each other. Super boring, right? This one too, I asked what is this collage about? No idea what this collage is about, so how am I gonna give this a good mark? By the end of your process that you do, you should know what you have done, right? Why did you put this boat and why did you put this? Why? You know, like this person had no idea, right? So disappointing. This is a really super awesome collage. It have lots of different elements in it. It's super nice. This person also made this one, which is great. I really like this. It's super fun, right? This person made like illustrations in a really old style, which is fun to see too, like marine illustrations, old ones. This one created interesting album cover art. This person created this beautiful poster. This one created a wedding invitation for some monsters, right? Which was pretty fun. This one is of course, what is it? I forget it what it's called, you know. Look, super cool illustration. This is a fun illustration too. This one created her own fan art. Ooh, click on the wrong thing, see. This one created her own style, drawings, lots of drawings like this, super nice. This is like a nice collage. This one created his own shoe design. Like this one creates his own shoe design. Some nice illustrations, see, traditional illustration and digital illustration. Another digital illustration. This one too. Lots and lots of possibilities, right? This one not so good, of course, because this doesn't really work. Okay. So that was a lot of stuff to look at. So think about what interests you, right? Am I you interested in product design? Are you interested in photography? Are you interested in sculpture? Are you interested in architecture? You name it, right? So if you say, well, I really like, for example, fashion, then go find me some pictures that you like and write about it a little bit. Say, I like to do something with fashion. What do you want to do? What inspires you? Basically look at the information that I wrote down, read it, and please upload it, because then I can see, I can see what you're into. Okay, thank you, and that is it.